everybody. Let's talk about gambling with crypto. And I mean that relatively literally, not so much about the degenerate meme coins that are 0.90 to the penny, or like dog with shit, or any of these kind of coins. And today I want to talk about something I don't do too much, which is risky utility plays. So just like meme coins, there's safe meme coins and there's everything else. Right? Well, utility has a similar aspect to it. And I want to give you guys three of them. So these are three risky utility coins. They're ones that are risky that I see a large reward with. Huge difference between just something being like stupid but potentially awesome, or dangerous with good effect, versus this is just kind of dumb. So I have three coins that I want to talk about. One of them I just jumped into a couple of days ago. By the time this video gets out, would be maybe a week ago. Price action will probably be the same unless something major happens in gaming. There's your hint. But before I get into it, the standard YouTube thing, guys. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you find this somewhat entertaining or useful. If you do, press the like button, subscribe. That stuff really does help us out. I appreciate it. And let me know what you think in the comments below as we go, what you do like, what you don't like, what you agree with me with, what you want to argue with me with. It's all fun stuff. I'll respond to everything, by the way. So let's dive right into it. Risky crypto that I think has a high possible reward for it. And let's get into the one that I recently jumped into. So this one I want to talk about first is Illuvium. If you guys, I've talked about it once or twice before because I owned it in the past. I very much liked it as a trading coin and because of the volatility. All right. I'll have other videos about this one, but in short, it can be very volatile due to it is a tiny circulating supply of less than 7 million coins. That makes it go up and down. It's a $100 million market cap, which those things combined means it doesn't take much money come in and out to make it move. And a lot of people are familiar with Illuvium. It did very well last bull run, which means it survived a bear market. Good sign. And the price is just kind of stupid right now because a lot of people have given up faith in it due to it's a single game, or technically it's 3 games. So it's a single game company that there are updates, and going from the beta to the full edition didn't happen as quickly as they expected. And here in the world of crypto, our attention spans are that of the concussed goldfish. Like, we are fucking awful with this. So I think there's a very good chance of going back up. It might not. I don't think this is one that would go to zero. I wouldn't bet into it if I did. But I just said the term bet. I do see closer to that. If we pull up the chart here, this is the of all time, right? And I don't know if this excites you guys and works better than Viagra, or if this makes you guys nervous, but this was last bull run. First off, yes, it hit up to over $1,800. I don't think it's going to happen. I will shit a brick because I would have sold everything way before it gets there if it goes that high. But it did before, and I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to get too much FOMO jumping into this thing. It's going to go from $18 to $1,800. But that's pretty easy math to know what kind of X that is. But anyway, way before I bought this coin, when I still saw it, I think it was around like the we'll call it roughly $100 range. So it's back, I want to say August, September, late Q3, early Q4 of 24. I was buying between 85 and 110, 115, buying, selling, did this a couple of times. It worked out really well. So I just saw a pattern with it. It's like every 2 to 4 days. When it was at $100, I had this thinking, the price prediction around 300 to 500. And as far as I know, nothing major has changed other than delays and whatnot for it. But I still think it's going to get up there. Gaming hasn't really hit at all. Avalanche, which isn't a gaming blockchain, but it's kind of a gaming blockchain, hasn't really ran yet. So I personally feel like this is the bottom of gaming. Again, it's a risk because it hasn't really moved, and where it has, let's show you the year chart, it's gone down. But this is why I wanted to buy it. All right. So again, if I'm looking at if I've already owned this coin for a year, I'm looking at selling, this chart is awful. And for anyone who's been Illuvium, if you're still in there when you bought up here, kudos to you. I hope you're DCAing to lower the average price so you can actually make more money from it. But when I see this as getting into a new position, and I think it's a good crypto, this is freaking awesome, guys. And because if it just goes back up to where it was within a year, we've already 7x'd it. But Illuvium, it is risky because it's going to take a little bit of people or a little bit of convincing of people to say, hey, this is something to invest into. Because if you look at this with common sense but no education on it, this looks awful. I think this is gorgeous. And I do think people are going to eat back into this. All it takes is one big update about the game or just in general, people talking about gaming. I'll hold on to this one. I'll write this up easily to $100. I'm very confident of this being a 5x, but I have no idea when it's going to happen. So just like any of crypto, not financial advice, but I'm not putting any more than I can afford to lose. If I was just throwing into a slot machine, that's what I put into it. I'm going to briefly look at how many holders they have. So when I look here, it's got 53,000 holders. That's actually a lot more than I thought it was going to be for how low the market cap has gotten. And I'll keep an eye on that over time. All right, not too bad. So let's go to the next one. Again, this one I haven't heard too many people talk about, but also in all honesty, I haven't looked around too much on YouTube or Reddit to see if people are talking about this one too much. But this is one I saw early on this year, last year. It was probably about this time of 24, around January, February. So the coin that I'm talking about right now is Eternity Chain. So at least that's what I'm going to call it. ERN is the ticker. So right now I've got the 1-day chart up. Okay, whatever. In the background, let's briefly talk about what the heck this bad boy is and why I feel that it's a little risky, but a good position to get into if you want to have something that's a little bit more risky that can pay off pretty well. So Eternity Chain, it's on Ethereum, which I see as a good sign because Ethereum hasn't really popped up yet. So Eternity hasn't had its big run either. This all makes sense to me. So what it does is it keeps pretty much authenticated digital collectibles, NFTs, right, of any of their partners, athletes, celebrities, musicians, etc. That right there is why I put this in the category of risky. I wasn't big into NFTs last bull run. It just wasn't my thing. But dear God, did it do well? There were some stupid, in my opinion, stupid NFTs where like, here's a picture of a banana and it is worth $140,000. Or, they pull in a lot of different musicians and artists that they make NFTs from. And these are essentially little digital cards, trading cards. Again, if you're in NFTs, I probably just offended you by calling that, but is what it is. It's what I see them as. But it was a huge market last time. I have no idea if anyone gives a damn about NFTs anymore because it's something I'm not into. But I knew that this came out of, to me, nowhere last time. So I see it as potential, but a gamble. Maybe it's because I don't know much about NFTs. But they've had some good partnerships in the past of names from all kinds of both generations and narratives. I mean, they've had Snoop Dogg, they've had Bret the Hitman Hart, they've had The Weeknd, Chris Hemsworth, Robert De Niro, Tyson Fury, John Cena. Like, they've got a lot of big names that come in, do their own little thing to sponsor or market or advertise and push out an NFT. And it's done well in the past. They like trying to link their NFTs up to unique moments or possible history making things like gold medal Olympics or the Golden Globes or things where they can take kind of like a real world celebrity event, tag the celebrity in it, make an NFT for it and push it out. And on the Eternity Chain, you can buy, sell, trade your NFTs and other types of digital assets like this. And it was a really big thing that people really liked. So if I get into it a little bit here on the chart, so I do not have a price prediction for this one. I have not gone into researching deep dive enough to do it because I'm not personally interested in NFTs. But I've researched it enough to get an idea of I could see this doing something. And if you like NFTs or you're willing to take a little risk on a offshoot narrative that effing killed it last run, I think you should look into Eternity Chain a little bit. So let's see how it's done overall. So the all-time, it shows pretty much mid to end cycle last bull run, showing that here it got up to about 48. Again, no idea, but let's say if it goes to the same place, you should be happy with that turnaround on multiples. If we look back in the last year, so it was up into, what was it, close to $8? Yeah, not too bad for being the same year. And I think, again, this is my personal opinion, when we had that little pump back in March to July, depending on which coin it was. Let's say this one was more of March and early April. I think that the real bull run, the real altcoin season is going to be, it should be larger than this. Have your own thoughts and opinions on it. I was going to say I wouldn't bet on it. I kind of am betting on it with most of my crypto, that whatever we saw back here when they had the boost from the Bitcoin halving and all the media attention that came to crypto at that time, I think the next one's going to be larger. But that's my own personal opinion. You can have your own, do your research. You have an actual opinion, not just you believe what the first person or most people tell you. But going by the thought or theory that's going to go at least back to where it was, we're looking at a happy, 5x, roughly from there, 4 to 5x. So it's really how much you believe in NFTs. If we go ahead and look at the holders, how many people own this, we're looking at 29,300. So it's a little on the lower end, but again, this is a small ass market cap, guys, 30 million. Okay, it is not degenerate Solana meme small market cap, but that's pretty freaking tiny, which means it's got the possibility of a lot of growth. And it's got a pretty small total and circulating supply, which again matters to an extent, depending on how you like to trade, buy, and sell. But this is the base of the Eternity chain. Hopefully, this gives you an idea of some possible gems to jump into. And now, last and possibly least, I don't know, possibly best. This is for you guys to do your own research and decide. But this is Rio or Relio Network. This is an RWA, real world asset, decentralized exchange. Focuses or predominantly does on tokenization of real estate and real estate type transactions, titles, etc. It is still pretty early on. It's just, in my opinion, appears to be a slow moving project, but it looks pretty solid. It's got partnerships with Algorand. Interoperability is pretty good with Ethereum, Stellar, BNB. There's a couple different VCs and projects behind them, like Changeley. But where it comes down to it is, I put this in the risky category for a reason. I looked in this one quite a bit over a year ago, hoping it was going to get onto a large exchange, Coinbase, Binance, any of the big ones, and it hasn't. And that has been surprising for me because a lot of people are familiar with Rio. I've typed this into the search engines and a lot of stuff comes up, a lot of videos, a lot of articles, a lot of Reddit pages. And so I have been surprised that it hasn't been pushed fully through into Coinbase, Binance, and beyond. But there's always a reason for it. And this one I'm keeping an eye on for the bear market for the same reason, hoping that it will eventually go on to large exchanges. And again, the reason why I care about this is that the more eyes there are, the more buys there will be. And most people buy on Coinbase and Binance. A couple of the other major ones, MEXC, OKX, etc. But they're the big ones. And that's a main reason I put this into the risky category. That, along with the fact that it's targeting tokenization of real estate. And so there's been a lot of rumors and thoughts that BlackRock would jump into and help out really or buy it up. BlackRock, which started their entire, franchise, so to speak, a big part of it was real estate, and they went with Ondo for tokenization of pretty much the entire world, right? So I look at Relio as being a competitor against Ondo, and that is difficult for me to say that Relio is better. However, something doesn't have to be better than something else to make money, let alone make more money, because Relio is a significantly smaller market cap, meaning far more potential than something like a lot of its competitors of Ondo. But I do feel it needs to get big traction, a big name pushing behind it, or a large exchange for it to really go like balls deep into this bull run. But there are things about it I really like. I'm not going to go too much detail. I'll let you guys do your own research. I'll give you an angle look at it. I thought the allocation of crypto and the tokenomics were pretty good. Half of it was stocked away for treasury, for creation and issuance, essentially for if they decide to do things like airdrop, staking, rewards, these kind of things down the road, maybe give some to partnerships that eventually come into play. And when I've looked in this one intermittently, the price goes all over the freaking place. So coming at Relio Network, it's currently at 35 cents. I'm laughing because I look every couple of weeks at this, and it's been, well, you'll see the chart in a minute. Maybe just random times I look at it. But we're looking at less than a $50 million market cap. Again, great potential. Total circulating supply, 131 million. Max supply, not too much more than that, 175. So we're roughly 3/4 of the way there, a little bit more. Before we get into the actual chart, I'm going to look here at the exchanges. So I like that it's on OKX. That's great. But we've got KuCoin, Mexi, but not. Where's Binance? Where's Coinbase? Where's the one that all the normies and everyone who doesn't know anything are going to get into? No offense. I still predominantly just use Coinbase and Binance, but this is true. All right. It's when you're new, where are you going to go? And we're looking at this point of the bull run. I want to go in where everyone who's going to be coming in is going to be buying, or at least have a coin that's on there. So now if we look up here at the chart, let's go that up. There we go. In the day, I haven't looked at this in a while. So even just in the day, there's been a decent little drop on this bad boy. Let's go back to the month, because I really think that a month is really, for my purposes, where it starts to matter. I don't do too much trading. Okay, I've done a little bit, but not really. So I don't care too much about the day and shorter. But you're on the month. If you're like Relio Network, and if you were looking to get into a position for Relio Network, this is an awesome effing time to buy. In the last month, it dropped by what, 50%, a little over 50%? So again, I'm not saying, hey, this is beautiful, guys. This is what we want to see in the chart. Of course, it's not for when we own it and we're looking for profits. But if you're looking for an entry, as long as you know why it dropped, that's a big deal to me. And I can't tell you why this dropped, other than the entire market's been dropping. But something like Solana, that dropped from in a week. Actually, let's pull that one up real quick. We'll come back to Rio. Put it up to show why it drops and how it doesn't matter in those cases. So put up here and looking at Solana in the last month, that actually chart looks very similar, just different numbers on the top and bottom. It went from $277, so $280 in a month, all the way down to $165. Okay. And at first, again, just like the Rio chart, maybe you're like, oh my God, that looks awful. Again, if you're planning on selling sometime, yeah, this isn't favorable. But looking for an entry with Solana, I know it's a great crypto. It's top 6, all right? It's got so many other crypto that runs on it. And I know why it dropped. You know, between macroeconomic news, general sentiment of the market is crypto stocks and it's a scam, and the giant scam of Libra that happened on Solana Network. That's why this thing plummeted. So I don't care that it dropped down that much. I didn't own any Solana. I do now because I saw it drop that freaking much, $100 in a month. And if it does the same kind of drop, I'm going to buy some more. I do think this one's going to recover. I think it was a short-term reason why it went down. Market sentiment will take a couple of days, maybe a week or two. I think it's going to start going back up from there. But let's put this back in terms of Rio. Again, this destroyed monthly chart of Rio. If you do your own research, look into it a little bit. If this is one that you like, realize this is a great effing time to buy. And I'm not going to say that's my opinion, right? Because I think I can kind of say that this is fact, right? It's good time to buy a good product when it's cheaper. I'd love to hear the argument otherwise, right? I'm not saying go buy Rio. I'm not saying go buy any of these. I only own one of the 3. But I do think these are good, risky plays with large potential gains compared to a lot of other altcoins that are out there. I think the risk versus reward is incredibly solid. I'm confident all 3 go up. I really don't know. I have no idea how much. I've got a guess on Illuvium. But these are things I like to look for because I'm mostly a buy and hold investor, and buy and hold for ideally at least a year up until I don't actually care. But I like looking for little trades. I like looking for pop quick cash once in a while. And I don't know if these are it, but I'm willing to bet some into it. And if you guys like videos like this, let me know. I'll try to keep them a little shorter. I've been listening to you guys. I haven't done a great job following through with it, but I'll try to keep more of these videos closer to the 15-minute mark and have less of these 30 minutes. So I don't become a liar. We'll end this quick. Hey guys, thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. See you guys soon.